The AfriOne Show, voice of a new tribe, where the Afropolitan spirit rises as we come together to rebuild Africa, Nigeria, and its marketplace, empowering its people and the diaspora with everything they need. Together, we form a new tribe, creating opportunity and access to markets, driving reinvestments, fostering collaboration, and working to elevate and one another with proven solutions. A true revival in Africa is possible, despite the challenges, though through intentional development that drives innovation, delivers mutual benefits, and inspires a culture of ownership for Africa and Africans. The time is now to unite, innovate, elevate with the Afropolitan Apostle, Darlington Steve, on the AfriOne Show, voice of the new tribe.
All right, family. I think I will say good morning from Nigeria and your country. I will use the word I don't know which one is first or second, but this country. Of course, I need to be careful now because Echo likes saying that my hand is not doing it right sometimes. So I can see that it's here. This country is afternoon. So good afternoon, family, and welcome to another time of the Voice with a New Tribe with the Afropolitan Apostle, Darlington Steve. I want to welcome every one of you for taking out the time for you to be here. For some of you, literally, you're watching the recorded program. For some of you, are currently live now. But whichever one you are watching currently, I want to promise you that it's going to be a very interesting conversation that we're going to be having today. From the team of the program, if you notice what is there, it says 2026 is for the new era. So that's the topic that we want, the full spectrum of that conversations. I want to use this opportunity for me to thank every one of you who have been with me in the journey, especially on this side of Africa, which is known as Nigeria, for the past couple of months. I must confess it has been a bit challenging, but I have a wonderful people around my space. And so I want to thank every one of you who are subscribers, you are followers, you communicate, you called, all my guests, literally from January to December, where we are now. I'm so grateful for every one of you for coming on this very particular platform, for every one of you who have been the people behind the scene. I may not be able to mention all your names, but I just want to say thank you so much. And also for the country Nigeria for accepting me back. I know for some of you, you'll be wondering that, okay, but you're Nigerian, so why will you be saying for accepting it? You don't understand what I have to go through. And so I think with that being said, this year, 2026 has literally been, 2025, sorry, has literally been a year where a lot of challenges have happened. Many of you, you've lost loved ones. Some of you, you've gone through some certain challenges that only you can tell. And sometimes when you tell people about your stories, maybe not everybody will want to believe you to say what you are saying is true. But hear me, I believe you. I believe you because they are your realities. Sometimes some of the challenges, and I've come to the point where I've come to understand that not everything that you explain to people that people will understand, but it's just about you. And that's it. It's literally just about you, and you make peace with that. And so, but Johnny, I see your pain. I understand what you're going through. I may not be partaker of the feelings and the emotions that you're currently experiencing, but I want you to understand something, that it's going to get better. It's going to get better. And with that being said, my conversations that I'm going to be having today, which is going to be the final live session for this year. And so the next time you're going to be seeing me live like these, it's going to be from 2026 again. I don't want to say the dates and the time so that in case if there is an adjustment that we need to do internally, it will be easier for us to do it. But obviously after today, Friday, which is the 12th of December, I will not be in your face again in any of the Fridays until January. The date will be communicated. And so because of that, I also want to encourage you all to please do me a huge favor. If you've not subscribed, if you're not following us on any of the platform, especially amazing thing that will be coming out from next year. If you notice, one of the big things for us as AfriOne is the fact that we're trying as much as possible for us to unite, to innovate, and also to elevate. And the biggest part of it is us bridging the divide that has seeked in thus far to separate us all from the things that are supposed to bring us together. And so because of that, I really want to encourage you, please follow us on all our platforms, and so that we can then be able to engage, and so that by the time we're releasing new stuff, you are there to be able to, who you've not joined our community on the WhatsApp group, I don't know what you're waiting for, because come next year, many of the people who are currently on the WhatsApp community, or maybe you follow us on our WhatsApp channel, you'll be getting a lot of, for lack of a better word, a lot of incentive and better things. You'll be the first particle of the reward of the things that we're going to be doing come 2026. And so I want to encourage you, please and please, follow us on all our social media platform, request to join our WhatsApp group, and at the same time also please talk about the platform that we are currently on. And so with that being said, family, I'll be going into a conversations around 2026, and one of the things I want you to understand is the fact that 2026, many of us, we need to know the where a lot we have. Versus Nigeria, 2026 is going to be a year where they will vote, but it's going to be a lot of election talk. A lot of people will be coming out. They will want to now come and buy conscience. Some of them will want to buy your destiny with a bag of rice and a bottle of oil or whatever. And so for us as Nigeria, it's going to be a brutal year around the rural side of things. And so it's something that I'm choosing, and we're going to try as much as possible on our own side for us to be able to communicate an uncensored truth. I think I remember Echo was saying to me around some certain things, him himself is for a lot of things that is going to happen. I mean, come next year, but hear me. The year it's going to be a bit of a huge of a challenge, but one of the things I can tell you point blank as go into the notes that I have prepared for today, going to be a good year for those, mark the word, for those who prepare for it. I think I remember, I can't remember which circle I was sitting down, and this person was now saying to us, and I think it was a church. I remember now it was a church. And what was happening was this: it was a conversations around different men of God. And the thing there on this very particular conversation that seeks to stand out in my head is this. And God's servant was literally saying this. He said, see, every one of us literally have the same measure of grace. And now this is me, I'm going to use this as just, let's remove the word grace, but let's put the word capacity. Every one of us have the same measure of capacity. Every one of us has been credited with 24 hours. Every one of us has been given, for lack of a better word, a system in our brain. But hear me, the only thing that makes different people to attain different phases or to achieve different stuff in life is literally based on the doings and not based on their saying. Many of us have been talking. This year, there are some of you who choose to say you want to have six-pack, I-inclusive. But at this, as I'm talking to you, it's still one pack. The difference between my six-pack and my one pack is the doing. It's the doing. And so come 2026, it's going to be a lot of doings that we need to be able to a particular thing. It literally helped me to shift a lot of things in my head to say, if any, to be very honest, on Wednesday when we're having our radio show, I decided to ask the listeners some certain questions in terms of what do they want to see from us as AfriOne Show. And it was very interesting as to some of the pointers that, and some of them were raising some point that makes me feel as if I'm the president. And I remember talking to a particular person said, but you are the president of Africa in diaspora. So because of that, they're going to ask you those kind of questions. And I think some of them were asking me questions around the security issues that is currently in Nigeria. I'm thinking, I'm not the president of Nigeria. People should be coming down. But I think what that then do for me is the fact that it positioned my mind to understand that people are looking for leaders. People are looking for solutions. People are crying for help. And sometimes it's not because the people don't want to provide help for themselves, but the ability or the knowledge for them to be able to go that route may not be coming the way they want it to happen and stuff. And so because of that, in these very particular conversations I'm going to be talking about, I wanted understand this is the fact that no one is coming to save us come 2020. Currently now, we are exposed with the narratives in Nigeria currently where allegedly, let me use the word allegedly because I've been within the Nigerian community, you have to use the word allegedly. Before we know what is going on, our president decided to send our Air Force One to go to the very particular, as I'm talking to you now, the Air Force One plane decided to pass through Burkina Faso. And for strange reason, the Burkina Faso guys, they discovered that there is an illegal plane that is flying on their airspace and decide to call the plane to come down, or else there will be consequence. To cut a long story short, as I'm talking to you right now, the plane is literally in Burkina Faso. Now, the 9 crew that were in that plane, I think 2 pilots and about 7 or 9 of the people who were in the plane, as I'm talking to you now, they're currently in Burkina Faso. Now, you can Google information, it's out there. But this is the thing here that the story is quite interesting for me, is this. The same Nigeria who used to be the power when it comes to African security and co, literally Burkina Faso is holding us ransom. That's to make you understand that it's not just about talk. Nigeria have gotten to the point, especially on our political space, where we are a talking country, but we don't do. For me personally, this is my opinion, has nothing to do with AfriOne Network and its staff, and also it's a point whereby we have lost what it means to be a powerhouse. We have lost it. We're looking at all the banditry happening in Nigeria, from the terrorism attack to all of the think and co. We have never one day sent one of the Russian dogs to go. But all of a sudden, our president is receiving a call. The next minute, he's sending airspace. And I'm thinking in my mind, so we have all of this equipment. To be very honest, I was shocked. So we have all of this equipment in Nigeria, and yet terrorists is busy attacking us everywhere, left, right, and center. And they never send a dog. At least send something. We've never seen anything. Burkina Faso and some of these Sahel guys, they're making us to understand, but we've equipped ourselves to the point, and we have serious allies and serious partners that are behind us that we will fight anything. Who would ever believe in the history of Nigeria that the Burkina Faso will keep our airspace, plane on ground and capture our soldiers, and literally they're there? Who will believe that in 65 years, Nigeria will literally still be talking that kind of conversations? We're supposed to be the wayfarer, but literally, we are literally the biggest tortoise as far as this very particular continent is concerned. Because why? Nigerians at this very particular moment, we don't create anymore. We only just react. And most of our reaction literally are not calculative reaction. We only react based on emotion. I will not have believed that Burkina Faso will wake up one morning with his Sahel guys and literally pound our plane. I would not have believed. But that will make you understand that come 2026, a lot of things will be shifting. And that's come of conversations that I want to be bringing here today as we begin to look into 6 different segments. This is just an honest opinion about my write-ups that we're going to be talking about. And literally, I choose to believe that you and I will literally begin to think about these talks and see how to position ourselves properly come 2026. And so the first segment I'm going to be talking about is what I call the hard truth, why many will miss 2026. The hard truth. Why many of, and I think I remember there was a particular friend of mine in church yesterday was asking me, okay, how's business and stuff? And I think I was honest with him, and I was saying to him, I said, I'm in Nigeria currently simply because I literally want to check the space of things. I remember there's some certain couple of events that I said to Echo that we would do and all of those things. I think after seeing it, and I'm like, okay, no, Darlington, be calm about it. Try within your 6 months, especially on the Abuja space of things, get people, know their mindset, know what makes them tick, understand how they process their thoughts. And that's why we have the radio show that we do, where every Wednesday I look forward for that radio show, because they make me to understand the average people ground there. I remember yesterday, I think for those of you watching it, today is Friday, yesterday was Thursday. I remember yesterday we went to a particular market. I forgot the name of the market now, pardon me. But one of the things I was saying to Echo and the team, I'm like, okay, this very particular market is very close. How do the people breathe with one another and stuff? But it's the reality. And for me, that's the first time, to be very honest, that's the first time seeing such thing. I think I remember going back home, I was just meditating on it. And I'm like, okay, it's bad because people are still making their money, to be very honest. People are making their money, it's what they know. how do we then begin to do something new in that environment that will literally give them an edge? I promise you that was my thought throughout yesterday. So now, as we begin to look into the hard truth, is the fact that, let me start by saying this. Many people are waiting for 2026 as if it's a miracle, but hear me. Waiting for opportunities, waiting for government, waiting for luck, waiting for connections, waiting for breakthrough. But opportunity does not visit the underprepared. Literally. I can promise you, if you ask a lot of people, they have this mindset that 2026 is going to happen for them. 2026 is going to, but trust me, if there is no preparation in you getting into 2026, you will miss out. I can tell you point blank, and because at the moment we're still doing some certain thing behind the scene, and I'm not at liberty to say anything at the moment, but there's a lot of stuff that even we as AfriOne, we're literally working and co behind the scene, because I will not get to 2026 and expect 2026 to deliver for me if I've not prepared properly to making sure that 2026 deliver what I am going to sow into it. Opportunity does not wait for anyone. It's not a miracle stuff. It's something that you program yourself. Sometimes I like saying to me, because of my diaspora mindset and co, when you live in diaspora outside of your nation, you have no choice for you to prepare and to anticipate anything, including xenophobia, especially from where I'm coming from. You just have to wake up and be prepared, because your antennas are very high. Your antennas are, in fact, they are higher than the strongest network. And so because of that, when you are going out in the morning, you literally anticipate anything can happen. I can be the next target. So before I become the next target, what do I need to do? What do I need to have? I remember, I think I was saying to my driver yesterday when we were going back home, and I don't know if Echo was with us in that very particular thing. And I was saying was it going back home or we were going somewhere? And I was saying, no, I think we were going to the market. And I remember there was a bit of one funny traffic that happened, and the driver was literally hooting. Pim, 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 and this guy is refusing to go and code. Then the next minute I asked my driver, do you have the cutlass? And I said to him, I'm like, okay, in the cutlass part of things, so I think I need to also have my own at the back. And I was saying to him that my cutlass, the mouth must be very pointed, because if you, I will put it in your neck. Guess what? It's the way the country is currently. And so I can't wait for me to now become a victim to it. Then the next minute I want to respond from that. And that's how the average, that's how our top guys who don't care about Nigerians, they wait for the thing to happen. Then they now start trying to negotiate. And I was saying to them in front, I did my own at the back, because I don't tell where they are going to come from. Because why? Literally, you must prepare for things that is going to happen. See, sometimes your preparation is literally not because you are, because most of the times you're like, no, but why will you be thinking negative and co? You know, we Christians know your mind have to be positive and co. Let's be honest, we've been praying this for and I pray is, yet the terrorism and the insecurity is literally still growing worse up till now. And guess what? Many of us are not prepared for what is happening. Many of us. I have heard of cases where a lot of people have been a victim of one chance and all of this very particular thing. Ladies, hear me, please, I beg you. This is me, take me, and anybody can call me for it. In your bag, have a knife. In your bag has a pepper spray. In your bag has some level of weapon in your bag. Because why? You may find yourself in some certain place where the only thing you can do is to blind that idiot with a pepper. And your pepper spray is not like the real one, whereby if he gets to their eye, they go blind. Because I've seen a lot, especially with the Abuja of things that I am currently now, I've seen a lot of ladies who fall victim on all of this one chances nonsense. So prepare. What I'm trying to say is the fact that prepare. If opportunity knock on your door tomorrow morning, do you have the skill to answer? Do you have of us preparing and putting it in the grace of God kind of responsibility? No, by God's grace. Sometimes when you talk to some people, they tell you, no, by God's grace, everything is going to happen. But it's not by God's grace. So God's grace, yes, it will be there. But without preparation, there is no God's grace. Because God's grace is waiting for something to work with. I think I remember I was talking to the team the other day. The Bible says, commit your ways before the Lord and he shall direct your path. So which means there must be ways that you have brought on the table that God will look at the ways and say, okay, you want to start a fashion business. I have seen all the things that you have put on the table. Why don't you go via this very particular? But guess what? If you don't have those ways, as you're watching me now, your biggest thinking should be, what are the ways I'm going to control 2026? I remember on the show, it's a public conversation that I have on Wednesday, and I was saying to the team, on the radio fans and co, I said, see, hear me, fam. First quarter of 2026. If you notice, I didn't even say 2026, I said first quarter. What do you want to see us, AfriOne, do that will make you remain loyal to us on this very particular show? Number two, what is that one thing that you want us to be able to achieve? That question I asked them, what is the participation of your own contribution in making 1 and 2 to become a reality? And I can tell you point blank, I think we even got a winner on that very particular show. I remember her name is Gertrude, but I've forgotten the stuff, a winner of 50,000. The lady sent some certain blueprint. The other person is Mr. Olushola, if you're watching me and stuff. They were there for the Gertrude on the system in which that lady put. I promise at the end of the day, immediately the show finished, I called her. One of the things I'm saying, I say, come next year, literally, you're going to be part of the planning committee for us to be able to achieve this very particular stuff. Because why? I am not waiting for 2026 to happen to me. I'm already preparing to make 2026 that I would happen in 2026. Not 20. There's a statement in Nigeria that a lot of people like saying that Nigeria never happened to you. I say, before I used to. Do you understand what it means for you to be able to, what you call, do your stitches whereby we can't be seeing rope flying left, right, and center? Do you even have, I'm not saying buy fake, but buy good material at a very low price that you can be able to benchmark and also have a good costing? Do you understand what it means from the production place down to the supply of the product? Do you have that ecosystem in your mind? And as much as the things in your mind, have you taken out time to write it down? Look at something that I have come to learn in life. This is my personal opinion now. Most of the things that have happened to me are things literally that I jot down, not things that are on my head. Things that I've written down. And sometimes I go to those notes and I looked at it and I'm shocked. I think I remember, I'm going to say this to the staff of AfriOne and also that of Charlotte Prime Home. I remember was it this week or last week? Where after we finished, no, I think it's this week, Monday, yeah, we've not crossed. After we finished and they bought myself and the director a gift and co. And when I saw the gift and co, one never was emotional, but I tried to hide everything that they were looking for. They were planning some weapon to form against me. The weapon wasn't working. I was fine. But one of the things there, and that's me literally, that I appreciate about the gift that they gave, they gave to myself and Charlotte it's for me. I'm already scribbling. I'm like, yeah, this is 2026. Let's start. And the diary is at home. By the time I go back, whatever comes to my mind, I'm writing. Come January, this is what I need to do. Come February, this is what I need to do. Come March. And I say to myself, literally, that by the time we get to the end of the year, I'll show them that, Baba, this diary is finished. How far? Are you guys it is finished? Because chances are I was writing some stuff that I need to achieve. And I discovered that I'm actually at January 22 on a diary that they bought for me one day. I'm like, I think these guys will have to do another one. No. But guess what? The reason why I'm saying that, it is the things that you jot down that literally has the capacity to work. The Bible says, write the vision. It didn't say cram the vision. It didn't say set the vision. It said write it down. Make it plain, so that those who will see and read of it thereof will pick what is their own and run with it. My question to you today, as we're looking forward entering to 2026, in less than, if I'm not mistaken, 18 days or 20 days from now, we'll be shouting Happy New Year. Literally. Let me sound like Zimbabwe. Literally, we'll be shouting Happy New Year. What have you written down? Now, one of the things which I put here, I say many people are busy, but they are not building anything. They are active, but not intentional. They are hopeful, but not prepared. And hope without preparation is just a wishful thinking. Hope without preparation is just a wishful thinking. You are just hoping, you are just wishful. You're just hoping, and hear me, if you think that hope would deliver, there's a scripture somebody once argued with me and say, no, after all, the Bible says faith is substance of things hoped for the evidence of things not yet seen, blah, 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 all those things. I said, but let's read the scripture very slowly. Faith is the substance of things that you hope for. Is that not so? Say yes. I say, what is faith? That's where I was arguing with the person. I say, of faith, that faith is an action word. Faith is not just a talking word. There's a difference between confession and going out and playing faith. If you buy your wedding gown, or probably have you taken the step of faith? Because I know you'll be like, no, I'm not going to buy my wedding gown. Never, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Do you know the price of a wedding gown? Have you gone to a showroom? Go and fit the dress, check and sit down. That is faith. So it's a faith is the substance of things that you hoped for. So which means as you hope to be maritally settled, the faith there is go and check what is the price of a venue. Go and check how much it's going to cost you to do that cake. Go and check and write all of those things down. That is faith. Faith is not you confessing. Literally. In fact, confession is just literally 10% of the remaining 90%. I mean, of the remaining 100. Faith is just literally 10%. I mean, confession, just 10%. I will be maritally settled and co, but you are still hanging around Delilah's. I'll be maritally settled and co, but all your friends are females. I'll be maritally settled and co. You don't have one married friend that you can ask, what does it mean when your husband wake you up by 2 a.m. and say he wants pounded yam? And you are thinking, and the person will actually tell you, do you even understand what it means to be maritally settled? Because the Bible says he that finds a wife, not he that finds a girlfriend. So which means being single as a lady, you must be a wife. Being single as a guy, you must be a husband. Do you actually have those understanding around your space? And I don't know why I'm using marriage as a context of it. That's how you faith. That's how you faith. Mindset number 2, because I'm trying to be able to put this very particular thought so that we finish. Mindset number 2 is this. What must end before 2026 begin? As we look into this segment number 2, what must end before 2026 begin? Guys, pardon me in case I say 2027. I've already said to you now that my diary is literally sitting at the 22nd of January. So, and they gave me the diary literally last week, this week, Monday, yeah. What must end? Before you a new, the year can work for you, something must die in your mind. And what are the things that must die in your mind? Number 1 is the victim mentality must end. Victim mentality. You know, I learned that statement in Nigeria. Nigeria is happening to me. And sometimes I look at people, I say, then why don't you happen to Nigeria? You've already accepted the victim mentality that Nigeria is happening to me. So the victim mentality must come to an end. One of the things I can say point blank that I have seen within the Nigerian construct, and sometimes when I argue with some of my friends, they're like, no, the reason why you are thinking like that is because you come from a Western world. And I say, no, it's South Africa, for calm down. Africa. The one of them argues, say, but you people have a lot of white people in that region. We don't have it. And I was laughing. But you must get to the point where victim mentality must come to an end. Every time you complain, no, it's because I was born here. It's because of this time. I don't have good family, blah, blah, blah. I will never forget. I remember that time, I think we were in Kaduna Barak or Ibadan, because I'm from the military side of things. And I remember one time, I think if this guy is, I think he should be alive. I'm not saying he's dead, but I don't know because he's been quiet these days. I go die. So I remember one time, and that comedy the guy gave that time changed the whole totality of my life. I can tell you point blank. If I see that guy, I owe him a seed. He doesn't know that. Guess what? Years ago, it was in Ibadan. I remember. Years ago, I stumbled into, you know how you go to the video club, you rent video that time. So I went to the video club and I rent one of this thing called Night of 1,000 Laugh. I remember that time. And so I played this very particular comedy skits that was done by them. I don't know who is the people who was that. I've forgotten their name now currently. So I played this thing. I remember something that Agodai said in his own side. He says, see, my father is poor, my mother is poor, but I use the poverty as a yardstick for me to become better. And I'm standing here in front of you who are more richer than me, and yet you are paying money to listen to me. And he now said this. He said, just because your house literally looks as if it's a dirty ground does not mean that your life must be dirty. You see, I can tell you point blank, I rewind that thing so well to the point that the seed is kept on that side. Because I constantly ask myself, my father is a military person. My mother is just a normal, for lack of better word, trader, and all of those things. If things must change for me, I cannot be looking at the victim around, the circumstances around me for me to navigate literally how I need to think out of that place. I was mad. When I mean mad, I was mad with just being comfortable. Because of that, one of the things I can tell you point blank, I changed my friend literally from the barrack to guys that are living in the cities. I changed my friend. I remember one of my friends literally was called Toby. The other one is known as Tony. I think it's Tony, I've forgotten the name correctly, but I know Toby and Tony was number 2. These guys are literally not barrack children. They're literally children. Because I want to understand, like, how do you guys live survival life out there? You own your houses and stuff. Remember that for us as soldier, the house that we're staying is military gave us the house now. But in my mind, I'm thinking, then these people, I don't think that these houses that they are staying, that the military give it to them. Because when I started thinking about it, it made me become self-independent to the point that I remember even in the barrack, because of some certain mindset, I started planning a program to go meet the military officer for them to sponsor. Because why? I refuse to be a victim of a soldier child. Except if I tell you that my father is a retired military personnel, you will not know. And literally, we're all born, the 4 of us, we are all born in the barracks. We are barrack children. You know when they use the word barrack children? We are the definition, myself, my young man. And by God's grace, the other day I was looking at stuff and I looked at some of my friends and co. And I sit back and I say, Father, thank you. One of them, I remember we met in Lagos and, and he said, see, from school, we know that you will be different. He said, because the way you take and the actions you take, he said, it doesn't look like what we were doing. He said, as much as we were mocking you, he said, not until when we discover later that you were in South Africa. Like, this guy saw something that we did not see. But guess what? I just choose not in particular moment. I have nobody to, currently now we have mentors, coach and stuff. That time we're just barrack children. It's nothing like mentor and coach. You fight your life. My question to need to ask you, the victim mentality, are you going to end it? And tell yourself, then if it has to change, then it's up to me. Nigerians, hear me, 2027, I'm not mentioning any name. Another vagabond to be your president, you have to become responsible to say enough is enough, not in my watch. I see some people currently now, I think, I've forgotten his name, I think it's Randy Peters, the guy who is shouting all the time about electoral reform and all of those very particular things. Lovely guy. He's waking up to make you understand that INEC and all of you cannot do another glitch again come next year. But let's be honest, how many of us are literally, when I see the guy post and code, sometimes I know that I don't have his energy to do what he's doing. He's doing electoral reform. My own is Africa, which is bridging the divide, and also borderless Africa. That's my own part. But when I see what he's doing, I enjoy that very particular. And please, Mr. Randy, if you're watching me, I need you to come to AfriOne Show. Let's get to understand these electoral things. What needs to happen? And how does the people might need the shift so that we then be able to bring people of merit and not people who is going to come. Somebody says 1 pint of rice or something. I've heard a lot of things on these things. For me, in my mind, I'm like, just use 1 bag, 1 bag of rice, and they give you oil that will finish in 1 week. But guess what? He refused to be a victim, which is a man called Randy Peters. And there's a lot of them, a lot. We see VDM. You may have your own problem about VDM, but that's okay. But at least we see some of the things that which is doing, positive stuff, fighting and busy, making sure that people are not taken advantage of. My question to you is the fact that what are you putting on the table? Number 2 that must die come next is the fact that the excuse and culture mindset. If there is one thing that has killed us in Nigeria is culture. We have respected people to a fault. I'm sorry, I have to say, I've honored to a fault. Where you cannot talk to an elder, and yet you but they say, no, pray for a leader, yes, but sometimes you need to tell the leader in truth that, you see, let me use this statement. They say, judge not so that you should not be judged. And the Bible says, in the same measure in which you are judged will be measured to you. People think, many of us as Christians, we have used that statement for us not to hold our people accountable when they mess up. But you forget to understand that the Bible there, go and read it again. It says, the same measure you judge. It did not say that you should not judge, but be conscious that the measure in which you judge will be used against you. So before you point finger to somebody and say they are wrong, are you right? That's what that scripture is saying. So yes, we need to hold our leaders accountable. We need to hold the people. Our elders, some of our elders are literally sacrificing us daily. Daily. Look at the what you call insecurity that is scattered across the nation, scattered across the states of Nigeria. scattered across. The other day we hear one in KB State. I'm using KB, one of those in the Yoruba region, because we thought that it's just going to be with side things. We're hearing one. The other day I watched something online, allegedly, I don't know if that's true, where these guys decided to go to Niger Delta. And Niger Delta guys were ready. They wired them out all. I was happy. I was very, very happy. Because if the sponsors of this demonic act knows that some certain people will kill them, they won't send their people there again. Religion. I'm not saying don't respect, but don't let that now become your failure. I remember when I was doing the show around the southwest side of things, which is the Yoruba. I remember one caller called. He said the reason why the Yoruba land is not developed is the fact that we have allowed culture to hold us down. You see, we can't hold our leaders accountable. And some of the tradition that is being practiced in that very particular place is a tradition of fear, because you are thinking if you call on the Obas and say, why is this not doing? The Obas will curse you. And so because of that, you don't want. Really? You're asking the Oba, why is there no water in our street? You're asking the Oba, why is there no this? And yet you are afraid. Culture must die. You. Let me even bring it down to religion. Religion include Christianity, Islam, whatever. It has to die. You know, when I look about the church side of things for me, why that one is very important. The Bible said the government shall be upon the shoulders of Christ, or probably shoulders of the church. But the question is the fact that how many of us, the church, are playing in the place of the government? So even us as pastors, inclusive of me, what message are you teaching your people? What message are you teaching them? Are you teaching them the place of fear? I remember I was watching a particular content on TikTok, and this thing was very interesting for me. How this very particularly was explaining something she said on that very part, people in the place of darkness, for lack of better word, seems to have more confidence and boldness to come out and display their stuff. But we who claim to be the light, we are always afraid for us taking territories and stuff. And my response there on that very particular comment, I will never. If you say it, your village people will come, blah, blah, blah. So that's the message that is currently in our head. Fear message. No, you know, if you talk, you doubt their beliefs. You think this LGBTQI plus people, which is known as the queer, the non-conformist, and whatever you call them, just call them LGBTQI. Then I like the last word, put plus, because it is going to be many. You think that they are afraid? They come out and they do their own thing. But guess what? Those of us who are even Christians, literally, you can't go to a meeting and say, let's pray. Or probably, can you give me your from the platform of fear? We must get to the point whereby we allow culture to end. And most times, also number 3, the belief that someone owe you success. You need to kill that. See, nobody owe you success. Nobody owe you anything. Nobody owes you prosperity. Nobody owes you opportunity. Nobody owes you relevance. I'll tell you again, nobody owes you anything of being relevant. You owe that to yourself. Don't allow the church construct or the religion construct to keep you bound. But you know, another thing again, this is me just, so let me say this. I'm part of the fivefold, but in the marketplace. This concept of no, wait until you hear God, blah, 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 blah. This is my own posture of things. I'm not saying don't hear God, but as a particular place you need to understand when it comes to your dealings with God's world, which means you have the mind of Christ. If you have the mind of Christ and your process and your thinking is of Christ, how come that with all of that calculation, you get to a particular point where you are telling yourself that I still need to hear from Christ when your mind is of Christ. That may be hard for you to understand, but please go back and listen to it again. If your mind is of Christ and you understand that the fullness of the goodness, all of that thinking is wrapped into the lenses called righteousness, hear me. Your actions that you are going to be taking literally is not dependent on any force, but it's dependent on you understanding that you are of Christ. And so any step I take, including if I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I'm like David. David was so bold to the point that come back, because why? And guess what? That was a guy who was under the law. You are under grace. As long as the earth remains, grace is, you can't exhaust grace. You can't. It's still available. You will make mistake, you stand up, you move, gets close. Hear me, waiting for the government to change without you changing yourself is literally a self-destruction. Nothing changes in your thinking, nothing will change in your result. Some people don't need motivation, they just need orientation. Point number 3, and this is me, I'm going to be talking to us who are career people. Point number 3, I want to talk to us who are startups, business owner, professionals, and all of that. I think I see the thing is back now. Yep. So please, family, pardon me if the network is showing blank. Please just understand that it's network issues, and that's the only way we can say it. So please bear with us as we do this very particular show. Don't get discouraged when the thing goes off. Just stay steady, it will come back. It's just a network problem. All right, on this very particular thought segment, we're looking at business career capacity. And like I say capacity is the new currency. Capacity is the new currency. If you notice, I didn't say faith. I didn't say praying in tongues. All of those things are good. They are spiritual ecstasies that you need to be able to clear the airwave. But hear me, as far as touching this very particular thing, you know, there is a word called supra. The super is the place of your prayer, your fasting, your speaking in tongues, your actions of faith, and all of those things. Those are the super. But for the natural, for it to become supernatural, there's an element of the natural side that it's being played. That's why it's called supernatural. So as we do this, let me say this. In 2026, hustle will not just be enough. Urgent 2K. It has to come to an end. It has to come. And when I'm using the word urgent 2K, I'm just using that as a mindset, because many of us literally go out as a business owner for us to look for urgent 2K, but we do not that energy literally is beginning to fail us as a business or probably as a entrepreneurs or a startup. Urgent 2K mindset must come to an end. I remember one time I once said, if you can do urgent 2K, why can't you stretch your mind for you to do urgent 10K or urgent 10 million? Because the moment you begin to think about urgent 10 million, do you know that your thinking capacity for your business concerning urgent 10 million would definitely change? Obviously, it is going to cost you process. That's why this very particular segment is literally about capacity. It's going to cost you process. It's going to demand some. And this is me saying this. The reason why many of us are not thinking global is because we are afraid of the demand it's going to place on us. I choose to believe it's the fear. It's the fear. That if I'm going to now say urgent 10 million, this is me now trying to create system and structure that is going to empower that 110 million to come. So you must understand that in 2026, hustle will not just be enough. Energy will not be enough. Motivation will not be enough. For you to just say, I want to just go and hustle urgent 2K. No. You must be able to build capacity, which means capacity for 6 is the new currency that you and I must have. Which means skill will beat certificate. Currently now the average Nigeria, we all pursue certificates. Because what you think you studied in school for 10 years, and I can literally go into one of these AI automation systems business is all about. Literally, if I paid the price for 3 days, I will understand. I may not get the practical knowledge of the thing, but I can understand that when you tell me about, for example, let's say you come and you tell me about mechanical engineering and stuff, I can read all of the things within 3-4 days, and you and I will argue. System will beat struggle. You must understand that come 2026, you must start thinking of systems. Thinking of systems. I remember, permit me not to mention name at this moment because it's sensitive talk. One of the person here literally sat with me as talking about 26 and some of the capacity he needs to build out his space and co. I will be very saying to you, I said, we will sign 3 years contract. And they said it's fine. Because why? He understands that the next move of me literally will have to be based on capacity. Capacity. And trust me, I am gamed in making sure that that capacity or that investment, literally, this very particular person gets it. Because why? The moment the person has that capacity, it can help my life. Whereby I can say, let's go and jump from 20-story building. And yet we're only climbing 3 ladders. I ain't going to jump those 3. Even Jesus Christ tell devil, thou shalt not tempt the Lord your God. No, that's why, let me say this. Somebody once booked a ticket for me to go for bungee jumping or whatever that jumping is. Skydiving, that's the word. Skydiving. And the person said, no, this thing is going to be easy, blah, 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 blah. I was looking at it, but he finished talking. I just carried my Bible, I opened it, and I went to the temptation of Jesus. I said, read number 2. The guy read it. The guy looked. He said, no, I don't understand. This, I said, chairman, say, God in flesh. Because Jesus was God in flesh. Literally. In fact, if you notice that scripture, the devil literally make him understand, though there will be angels. The guy quote all the things that will be there. Chances are maybe those things will happen. I don't know, because at least Jesus did not do skydiving. I said, even Jesus said to the devil, Waklanya. It means in Zulu, you're mad. The plane sometimes that I fly in, when I hear that we are going to be flying above 7,000, whatever above the sea, my mind, I think, are we going to heaven? Calm down now. It's just from Lagos to Abuja. Like, can we just let me be seeing some of the ground stuff? But well, they know the reason why. You need to get to the point where you must understand that system beats struggle. Branding will beat just animosity. Whereby you just want to do, what's animosity? You just want to be autonomy. You don't want people to know. You have to get to the point whereby you, in your business, you change some certain things. You must also understand that collaboration will beat isolation. Many of us literally were afraid of collaborating. If I collaborate, what if they steal my idea? Let them steal it now. God will give you another one. And this is one thing I've come to understand about it, maybe because I play within the VC side of things. Let them steal your idea. The grace to make that idea work, they don't have it. It's not about the idea, it's about the grace also to making it work. I know how many people literally wanted to do AfriOne stuff that I'm doing currently now. In fact, I know 3 of my own friends in SA who started the same period I started, including opening a radio station. I will never forget. I called all these very particular guys, let's open this very particular thing. As I'm talking, some of you will know the story and stuff. Call them, let's do this very particular thing. And go the next minutes telling me, no, it's not going to be possible. South African law doesn't permit it, blah, 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 and co. I said, okay, no problem. I start. By the time I start, literally in less than 3 months, these 3 guys also start their own different radio station with different name. In 6 months, they collapsed. Because why? It's not just about open, it's about grace. And that taught me a lesson. Taught me a huge lesson. I think Dexterity Radio literally, we stopped it because we noticed I used the words. And my radio station at that moment, it depends on people coming into the studio and all of that. So we stopped it. I promise you, by God's grace, we are seeing a way of how to make that to become a reality here in Nigeria. This is me telling you. The reason why is because I'm not afraid of your village people. They can't do me anything. He that is in me is bigger than you. So forget your village people. They come, I kill them. Life moves on. Because this nonsense of fear, we need to end it. But what am I trying to say? You must understand that collaboration is very important. And in you doing that collaboration, you must ask yourself today, what problem am I going to solve? Next month is 2026. What problem are you going to solve come 2026? Who will pay for it? Can this business survive without me every day? And trust me, see this part that I put, I can tell you point blank, I'm living that. I remember by the time Echo joined and co, and I think I was even cracking, most times I crack joke to tell them my truth. And I'm looking forward, after the next 1,000 days of actively being in Nigeria, for somebody to tell me, "Sir, is enough, come and be going." We need to have a branch in Rwanda or Kenya. Because why? I want somebody to be able to do this business without me. And I think I've said it in one of my podcasts. The reason why the show is called the AfriOne Show and not the Darlington Steve Show is because I want a lot of people who will do it better than me. And I bet you they are there. Who can do it better than me? Who can communicate better than me? Who have the knowledge better than me? I have never seen myself as the omni knowing. No. So because of that, I'm always open for collaborations and partnership. Always open. Maybe, for example, you're watching me currently now. You can literally approach me with a business deal and say, "Okay, fine. I want to have my own show under the AfriOne umbrella. Maybe I want to start a men talk. I want to start a sex talk. I want to talk a business talk under the AfriOne label." And I promise you, you need to be on the table because obviously we have to pay people. I promise you, I'm gamed. And the show can even be structured to the point where it is your name. The AfriOne Show with Echo Cornell. And life moves on. Because why? If you are graced for it, you can do it. Collaboration is the key. And finally, can it scale beyond your street? Next year, we need to get to the point whereby our business begin to scale beyond just your street, beyond your city, beyond your nation. The ability to think to that very particular extent. Number 4, because of my time, I have less than 15 minutes to call this show to a wrap. Number 4, it's planning. It's for those planning to start. For those of you planning to start, let me say this to you. Start now. Start now. It's not about you trying to say, "No, I want to get all of the indices ready." I remember when I think, permit me for me to go back because I don't know how to use other people's story. I'll use my story. I remember when we wanted to start Dexterity Radio, the only money that was in my hand that time, I can promise you, literally, if I'm not mistaken, was 25,000 Rand. Now, 25,000 Rand in a South African economy, it's literally a small money. It's like saying you want to start a business with 25,000 Naira. The question is, what business do you want to start with? And how do you want to go about it? And remember, I'm starting a radio station. And all that I have literally cash-wise was 25,000 Rand. And I looked, my spirit is on this very particular radio. What do I need to do? For strange reason, I begin with myself and start thinking of what to do. Only for me to recollect and probably the Holy Spirit opened my head to see that all I need to start the radio station. Funny enough, I actually started the radio station from one of my bedrooms. From the bedroom, we give ourselves a year target, but literally less than 7 months. That's how much the growth is. Hear me, start now. I know you want to start that very particular fashion business, start now. You want to start that cooking business, start now. You start the automation business, start now. You want to start the editing, start now. Whatever you want to start, hear me. The best time to start is now. Let me even talk to my diaspora people. The best time for you to invest in Africa, it is now. See, can I be honest with you? The weather will have to start now. You just have to start now. And I think I remember I was speaking to a particular friend of mine from Congo, and we were talking, and I said to him, because we're planning some certain things around the Congo side of things, and I was saying to him, I said, see, the biggest challenge there that we're facing for those of us who are diaspora is this. We always think that Africa has to be better for us to come and invest or for us to bring us. I said, see, just because we're in a region that is more developed than Africa, that should give us an understanding that there's an opportunity in Africa that we can deploy the systems or the information that we have concerning those developed countries and bring them to our own continent nation. Here, in UK, you're in US, you're in Canada, in wherever you are. Can I be honest with you? No matter how developed that country is, you cannot be part of the structure of that country, because when at a form state that your impact in that very, I think I was talking in South Africa, we have this cow train, we call it cow train, whereby literally from Sandton to the airport is literally 12 minutes. That's how fast that train is. From Santon literally to the airport, I think 12 or 15 minutes. Now from Joburg CBD to the airport is usually less than 25 minutes. But for you to be on the road, our kind who stays in the road side of place, we literally to get to the airport. God help you that day, there is no traffic. 2 hours you're on the road. But when you just find yourself in something, enter country, boom, you are there. Do we have in Africa? There's none. Such things. And privatize that very particular thing. Make it, yes, it may look like a government project, but privatize such a way government will buy it from your hand. Premium. That's what and guess what? You will now become part of the narrative in diaspora or outside of a country or the continent that is better than your continent. Does not mean that you have to just stay there. But you can literally create. I remember the story of Landmark. I think I remember him now. Forgotten his name, but the guy who owned Landmark stuff. I think that's the only way I remember. And he says that he was what's called working as an advisory consultant on some of the infrastructure and co. One day he just wake up and say to himself, like, come on, you these guys are doing all of these things in this very particular place, and what stopped him from him going back to Africa? And he called few of his friends and stuff, and boom, before you know what's going on. Currently now, you can't talk about property infrastructure as far as Nigeria is concerned without you mentioning the man name called Landmark. You cannot. I'm sorry, you can't. But guess what? He may decided to build that same thing that he has in Nigeria, in US, in Canada, billions of such operating there. But when he decided to find himself back to Nigeria, we all are looking at him. How? To us is a wow. To him is like, let me cash out. And that perfection is procrastination wearing good clothes. Many of us want to be perfected in it. For example, as I'm busy doing this and I'm seeing that this thing sometimes me buffers and cool, but I'm moving on because why? Come next year by this time, this is not going to be my problem. Because chances are we would have found a proper solution where our streaming doesn't need to roll. But between now and then, I move. But to not be discouraged about the whole buffering stuff, and that's not my problem. That's not. Am I looking for perfection? Yes. But perfection is not a destination, it's a process. It's not a destination, it's a process. Because when you think you are perfected in something, I bet you in less than 7 minutes, you'll find that that very particular thing is really not perfect. Perfection is not a destination, it's a process. And you must be able to go through the process. You must be able to go through the process. So one of the things in which I put here, you don't need everything to start. You start to attract everything. You don't need everything to start. One of the things I like about Jesus, and even in the Bible story, is the fact that anytime somebody needs miracle, the common question that is being asked, what is in your hand now? When God needed to deliver the children of Israel when they were in Egypt, he asked Moses, what's in your hand? Moses says, stick. What can stick do? You are not talking about boat, ship, space plane, and all of those very particular. He said, stick. And God says, that's enough. That's enough. The living woman, widow, and 2 children. When the prophet asked the woman, what is in your hand? She first of all said nothing. But I guess something slapped her. She remembered, no, I have an oil. That literally made the woman an owner of an oil business. Literally. There is always what is in your hand. If all that you need to start is out there, you literally don't have anything. What is in your hand? What is in your hand? What is in your hand? That's the question. For some of you, after this show is over, sit back and look, what do I have in my hand now? Some of you, all you have in your hand is literally the kitchen. Your kitchen, your stove, your pot, and that rice that is literally there. Start that cooking food or start that cooking business. That's all you need. You don't need those fancy stove that Hidabachi is using. You don't need it now. Your stove that you have now is enough. You can start with that, and every other thing will begin to align itself to come to you. Because of my time, let's look at number 5 quickly, which is all about life and purpose. You are more than just money. You are more than just money. You are more than your income. You are more than your job title. You are more than the business card you carry. I think in Nigeria here, when I was writing this part, I was laughing. Nigeria is a country where currently now, every small thing, I'm still trying to get a business card. Is it complimentary card? They call it a business card. I'm still trying. Because I came from a country where all we do is the fact that we tap our phone and stuff, and you have the. But here I come in the next minute, Sometimes when I go to event, I don't collect people business card. I'm like, sir, I'm so sorry. Can I get your number? He said, let me. I said, I will not write the thing. Just give me your number now. And they give me a type and I move my way. Because why? See, the world is getting to paperless society. That's why ChatGPT and all of these GPTs that are out there, from GPT innovation system, they are trying for you to avoid papers. But I've discovered that I'm in my country, we still do paper. We still do paper. But guess what? You must understand that you are more than a business card. You are more than your job title. And that's why one of the things I'm trying to build within the Nigerian ecosystem of things and with the people, they will tell you, point blank, this is me, I'm chill. Because why? I have never seen myself as Alpha and Omega. The moment I arrive at people around me, sometimes Echo doesn't even know that I look at him and I learn. I look at Madam and I learn. I look at that I need to know. Everybody. I look at how they do their stuff and cool. Sometimes I think I remember cracking joke with somebody. I say, I'm the witch in your life that is spying. Because why? I'm more than just the Afropolitan Apostle. There's something about me that I'm still discovering. Literally. I'm a guy who literally started as a videographer. That's why anytime I see a code doing what he's doing and I'm laughing, I'm like, you're in the right path, don't worry. One day he's going to sit down running his own business where he can't even remember the last time he held a camera. Because I started as a videographer. Whereby I remember over 30 years ago, carried the team, we go into a dark, by this sophistication. That's what we were using days. But now to the point that I remember that the Echo was complaining about something that wasn't working in my mind. I'm like, the reason why now he's going to be hearing for the first time. The reason why I didn't argue with him because in my mind I'm like, I forgot what to press on. That's how much I've left that part now. That's his problem. It's not my own. Because there was a stage where that was my problem, and my boss was looking at me. You know, if you don't repair, it's going to affect us. He was talking, I was looking at him. So I had to just be like a boss, you know. I'm like, I was not. I bet you in my mind, I'm like, you want to start? That guy is a liar. I paid him salary for him to do that part. I'm not going to argue my whatever. I just do my boss card and I move on my life. But guess what? There was a time literally where I was just that. You must just start. Some of you are looking forward to be perfected. Hear me, you cannot be perfect. The only man that experienced perfection in the Bible, I think if I'm not mistaken, his name is called Enoch. The Bible, God took him out of earth. So the day you arrive at perfection, you are God. So because of that, I am not claiming to be perfect. Perfect. You are gone. You just sleep. Don't wake up in hell. Enoch till tomorrow. We don't even know where he is. Enoch walked with God and the Lord took him. Case closed. So look at it. Before even Jesus' body get to heaven, Enoch had been there. That's a question we'll get to heaven. We'll ask Baba, where is Enoch? Because this guy just escaped something. Because why? God is making us to understand that on this earth, perfection is non-attainable. You get there, you are gone. You are gone. The only place that's perfect is that side, that world that you are. And I don't know what happens there. But let's just assume that things are there. That's the thing. Part of the things is the financially, but broken emotionally. Some are busy, but empty. Some are rich, but lost. My country is one country where we have a lot of rich people, bank account that they don't know what to do with the money. So because of that, there's something about you that you must find out. 2026, you must find out about that and stay and make that happen. I was speaking to a friend of mine. I said, see, hear me. Take me out from Africa and put me in London. I will form a very strong African community there because why? All I know is Africa. I remember, I think it was Charlotte that was saying this, just Charlotte or somebody. I used to wear that my African stuff, just actually I didn't wear it because of the too many colors here. My map of Africa. And he said something. Is anybody who decide to carry this because you are called for this? Into fintech business because I'm not a financial person. You guys would steal my money all. We're impossible to do that. But as far as Africa is concerned, bridging the divide that is current in Africa and making sure that we see a borderless Africa, you'll find me there. You'll find me there. If you wake me up 2 a.m. and say, let's go and meet the president of South Sudan or the president of Eritrea, let's go and sit and discuss. Even the one who sees our plane. That guy has mind though, sees Nigerian plane. I'll go and meet him to discuss visa-free Africa. I will not mention the plane. That's his problem with him and Tinubu. Not my business. But that guy has mind. That guy I think about, what's his name again? Traore. Is that his name? That guy. You know that we are literally just a talking country. We are toothless bulldog. Go to do map of Africa and just look at how Burkina Faso look like literally Abuja. That guy sees our plane. You have torn us. Can't do anything. All we are doing is talking, going on TV to go and make noise. How many of you are going to Burkina Faso to go and tell the guy releasing now? We are not. We are sitting national calling. One of you tried. We can talk. Finally, as I begin to bring my thought to a close, permit me to push with extra few minutes because I need to say this part. And this is the part of the AfriOne perspective. Hear me. Why we build what we build is the fact that AfriOne does not just exist as just a show. We are not just a media company. We are not just a property company. We're not just a foundation. We're not just an investment company. One of the things I want you to understand with us as AfriOne is this. We're a movement. I remember when the show I did on Wednesday, some of the calls that came in, and it was very interesting. We started that very particular place called Party. And he said this to me. He said, please, when the party is going to start, make me one of your secret escort to be able to. And I said to him point blank, I say, sir, with all due respect, I'm appreciative because you have captured the bench of everyone. That will make me turn everyone to a political party. No, we are bigger than a political party. We are not a company, we're not a talk show, we're not an investment, we're not a foundation, we're a movement. Because the moment to become a party currently, literally, we've limited ourselves to Nigeria alone. And so because of that, we're not going to, let me just say this for every one of you who is worried. I've gotten inboxes and stuff to say, Darlington, why don't you register this to become a political party? I don't have energy for that. Because that is you literally limiting the possibility of which AfriOne literally carry. And so because of that, I want you to understand that as a movement versus AfriOne, few points that we are is the fact that I'm going to read them so that it stays in your mind. AfriOne, we are a movement to unite Africa at home and diaspora. And that is literally what you'll be seeing from us come next year. We're going to be building different kind of ecosystem that bridge this very particular divide. Number two, we build system and not dependency. I'm looking forward for many of you to join, whereby we can then begin to create a government that is not President Bola Ahmed Tinubu or President Ramaphosa or President Paul Kagame of Rwanda. It's not. Number three, AfriOne is a movement to create platform for collaborations and partnership. AfriOne is a movement to turn ideas into execution. AfriOne is a movement to turn vision into impact. And AfriOne is a movement to scale beyond your street, your city, or your nation. Let me say this as I bring my thought to a close. The future belongs to those who are going to plug into system, not those who are going to stand alone. And AfriOne stand for one thing. We stand for unity. And hear me with that being said, I'm on you for you to join us on this very particular movement. Myself, Echo, and all of the guys, both here in Nigeria, South Africa, we If 2026 is going to deliver a borderless Africa, or 2026 is going to deliver an organization that is going to be bigger than what it is today, it has to come from a standpoint of partnership and collaboration. And hear me. The station. I said, thank you for making that. From next year, I promise you, we're going to be looking for ambassadors in each of these very particular province. These are 6 provinces. Is this that province you guys call it? State. Yeah. Sorry. Woohoo! My brain is already out. In the 36 states of Nigeria. I'm looking for you to become an ambassador to a global. We're looking for ambassadors in each of the provinces. We are also looking for ambassadors in each of the municipalities and also of the local government narratives. And with that, we can literally become a force that will shape the continent, shape the kind of leaders we bring in power. Remember, the 3 things for us as Voice of the New Tribe is the fact that we are looking for people who will shape narrative, who are going to renegotiate the African narrative, champion ethical leadership, and break the divide that is currently keeping us bound. But I can only do that with you coming on board. With you coming on board. With this being said, to my family, I want to thank you one more time that as we step into 2026, the year will not change without you. You must first change. Discipline would outperform motivation, and preparation would outperform playing alone. But we must get to the point whereby we need to know that if anything has to change, then it's up to you and me. Not up to the government. If there is one thing I have been saying ever since that AfriOne Nigeria started, is the fact that if anything has to change, it has to be between you and I. Let's leave the government alone. These guys are literally looking for our 20% come 1st of January. That is beyond the government that is currently in Nigeria or in Tanzania or Rwanda will remain in Africa that looks like a beggar. It is over 60 years plus, and yet we are still dependent on aid. It's a shame on our continent. I need us to change. With our Vincent family, I've come to the end of this very particular conversation. Do not enter 2026 the same way you entered 2025. Think this as your movement reset. Rethink and reposition. On behalf of all of the AfriOne Network staffs and its stakeholders, I want us to thank you one more time. Thank you for believing. Thank you for sponsoring. Thank you for support. Thank you for always coming out to make sure that that which we are doing becomes better and better. To all of those of you who decided to be an FBI behind the scene that you don't want to be seen, I also see you. Thank you. Thank you. For you watching currently, thank you. For you streaming, thank you. Without you, literally, we will not be doing what we're doing. But one of my appeal come next year. I'll be appealing that many of us who are behind the scene, I'll be calling on you now to come to the front. It is high time for us to make something better of what is left of the Africa that is currently in our hand. This is the Africa we have. I know that some of you say, no, the name is Al-Kabulan and those things. At the moment, it's called Africa. Let's just make peace. What we do with this Africa that has been handed over to us. The Nigeria that was named by a girlfriend, this is what it is currently. What do we do with it? It's now you and I know you have all the histories. Let's keep history. Let's move forward from here. And I'm looking forward to doing that next year. Thank you very much. And to my wonder, I call him my deputy. Thank you very much for making sure that I do what I do with ease, that I can sleep without no problems and knowing sure that everything is going well. I'm proud of you. And may God continue to bless you and to reward you in all that you do. Family, it's been said now. I'll see you on the subsequent production. I noticed that, yes, the video is off and cool, but you can listen to me on the audio. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next year live. But keep watching our podcast on all our YouTube channel. Bye for now, and God bless you.